Hey guys, here at osmvdxreviews.com. This is our video review of the retro and very old-fashioned Sony Clie SJ33/U. This is a pocket PC PDA device that Sony launched way back in 2003, so it's exactly 10 years old. Now, it's still interesting to take a look at because this device actually ran on the original Palm OS operating system, which of course powered a lot of pocket PCs and PDAs of this era. And what makes this device interesting is Sony's Clie series has such a huge emphasis on entertainment and has a huge emphasis on hardware specifications and design elementation. Compared to some of Palm's other devices, this device looks super sleek, especially for its age. From the exterior, you can see that the device looks like a black slate that looks really sleek and it's plasticky, but when you put it against strong light, you can actually see through this plastic visor and you can actually see the buttons and the screen. And once the screen is turned on, you can actually see the screen through the transparent front panel. So it becomes kind of like a transparent display. It's a very cool concept, and it's a very nice protective flap that Sony built in into this device. It's non-removable, but it's a cool design elementation nevertheless. Now, this model in particular had a emphasis on entertainment because it played MP3 and playback MP3s, and using the Karma video player, you can also play MP4 videos. So it's a great entertainment device in that aspect. It has a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, in addition to expanding the memory via the memory stick cards that Sony produced. And you also have access to a push or a scroll wheel, a back key, a power on and off key, and a speaker on the back. There's also a reset hole in the back. And the battery for this device is, again, rechargeable, but it's also removable by the user. There's a screw on the left-hand side of the device, and you can actually take off this panel and access the battery underneath, which you will unplug and then replace by yourself. There's your headphone jack on the top of the device there. And that's pretty much it. The scroll wheel, I remember at the time, was kind of hard to use because it didn't push down exactly. It was just up and down, and it was really stiff and recessed. So when I'm using the device, it was a little bit cramped and awkward. And additionally, even at the time, this Pocket PC was a little bit on the bulky side, as you can see. Although it looks really sleek with its black and silver trimmings, it's a little bit large. Although because of its rounded corners, it's still really pocketable and it's easy to fit into any service or any pants or jean pocket. There's also a back key here, a hold key on the side here like this, and then sliding the device down will turn on the device. There's your charging and cradle spot on the bottom, and on the right hand side there isn't anything. On the top is going to be also your stylus and lanyard slot. Now, this device at the time actually came out with a pretty revolutionary processor. Beforehand, a lot of Palm OS devices came out with 20 megahertz Motorola Dragonball VZ processors, but what's interesting about this, it actually ran on 66 megahertz Motorola Dragonball Super VZ processor, and additionally had 16 megabytes in internal storage instead of the typical 8 megabytes. The display, though, for the time is actually pretty high resolution. Sony makes great displays, and even from this era, it's very transparent. You can flip up the visor to actually see that. It's kind of like a flip form factor, but you'll reveal the screen itself, which actually had a 320 by 320 resolution, has 60 bits of color, but it was actually pretty bright and vibrant, if I remember clearly. It's a resistive touchscreen, but the film layer is fairly sensitive too, and there's a screen protector on top that came included in the box. And below the area, the touch-sensitive area, you have access to a graffiti area for handwriting recognition, also a home, a menu, a calculator, and a search key. And you could use the handwriting recognition or a built-in QWERTY keyboard. And on the bottom of the device, you have access to a up and down, which is a scroll key. You have access to a appointments key, a phone contacts key, a to-do list key, and a memo key. And these are all buttons that you can press down. The buttons are really recessed to the surface though, so they're kind of hard to press because of the flip design. Thankfully, they're pretty tactile, so at least they have a lot of response when you press down on them. There's also overall a nice arrangement for your hands to touch them and be able to access these controls. It's not too wide of a device either. So that's pretty much it as well as this device goes. Included during when you purchase this device in the box was actually a USB dongle, a mini USB lead adapter, which you could attach additional accessories to, and you could have added a memory stick that allowed you to browse the web or add Bluetooth onto this device because it doesn't come included. And additionally, it came with a mini keyboard that you could have purchased. There's basically just infrared and beaming technology that are built into this product, and that's pretty much it. The size is 108 times 74 times 23 millimeters with the cover closed. So overall, it's a pretty interesting look back to see how Sony has remained kind of the same in terms of product design, even in today's standards, being that they really care and they really value about the design and elementation. Because we see similar manufacturers like Palm making their own PDAs with a lot more boring designs, not and a lot less classy, but they still have the same operating system and the same function. But Sony just really wants to put emphasis on that entertainment and on that package and that overall making both the UI and the hardware come together. It's basically what they still do today. It's also interesting to know that this device was originally, of course, designed and also produced in Japan, so it really shows how old this device is. But overall, that's just a look back at the Palm Clie Personal Entertainment Organizer PGSJ33/U series device. Thanks for watching your OS and VDXreviews.com.